The $30 Goth Girl tax, which everyone has paid.
Everyone on the planet, including you, I bet, is paid.
You've probably bought it. Matt's bought it. I imagine I'll end up buying it somehow. Then, I don't know, someone will react to this and call everyone chills, and sort of the whole content cycle will, will perpetuate itself. Yeah?
Just another brick in the wall.
Why make video games when you can just make the thing you did and put in the game purple and then sell it for the price of a full game? There you
cracked it. We have cracked video games.
The whole, nope, no, I was going to go for the Phil Fish version. Let's not do that. The compare your life to mine and
Jesus.
Yourself. No, the, what do you call him? He's not called Mr. Impossible. the big man in the punchy superhero television show on the Amazon.
Incredible. No.
Mr. Man. He's played by J.K. Simmons.
Mr. Man.
Mr. I Can't Be Killed and stuff.
What is his name? Because I know...
Yeah, look what it takes to emulate a fraction of my power. That's like,
Omni-Man.
Omni-Man, yes.
I should know this. He's in Mortal Kombat. Alongside Homelander.
This kind of reminds me of that. It's like normal motherfuckers have got to go out there and be like, okay, we're going to sell our game for our game was $19.99 and that was like 18 months. So just think about like, I don't know, let's say, what's Frostpunk 2 selling for? Answer is it's not out yet, so it's probably not selling.
We live in times.
Yeah, who knows anyway, but like, big chunky ass game like that. Yeah, you could make that thing. Might cost you, $1 million, $1.5 million, or drag the slider to purple. Matt will buy it.
I apologize for nothing. I should apologize, and so should all of you. But it is how it is. It is what it is. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, I suppose? Yeah, it's
okay, Matt. I'll purchase it in solidarity. Hey, tap into funky internet culture. You'll make infinite money. It is what, it's what everything else does.
That's effectively that's the learning, right? It's where does value actually come from? What is value? And it turns out it's all just made up inside your brain. And it's like, well, do you want that thing? Yes, absolutely. And I'm not going to say, but I did spend a little bit much in Blue Archive.
Oh no!
The other day.
Oh no!
Because they gave me a selective ticket, which means I could just yoink whichever one I wanted. And I was like, I absolutely need this. But already bought to flex on the bruggies. That's actually seriously when there's like literal like children been bullied in school for being default skin in Fortnite. Like it's terrible. It's terrible. But yeah, there is a genuine like thing here of why is this worth money and the other one isn't? Well, like what would have happened if they swapped this around? And I think it was Dark Souls Super saying like Mahou Shoujo villain gear. It is colored to be alright. You're the dark magic girl, and everyone loves that aesthetic. Everyone loves it like kind of gothic aesthetic now.
Yeah, it's like how the PvP sets are always the kind of mean, nasty, cool ones. So. Yeah. So $25, 30 USD for a coloration and then the set itself. And I guess what's kind of interesting here is like this is overtly a recolor. So like you know,
quite literally and pointedly, and not released at a different time. It is a get this in the trading post or buy this.
Yeah. So then the question is, how much is the mount? If you were to say that these are worth say 50-50 of that $30, I suppose. And again, this is just to make, like, to further hone the point of values made up. If you complete your Traveler's Log, technically you're getting $15 of value.
That's crazy. Also, if you're splitting it up that way, then it also implies that 750 tenders is worth 15 quid because if half's the transmog, half's the mount, the pink mount was 750.
So it's a funny way to think about things. If we think about these, so the pink coloration of the Fox is $750. What would the set cost whenever the set is on the store? like maybe another 750 or whatever.
I know the ensembles are like 850 usually.
Because here's where it gets interesting. Your price per attendee has certainly went up. Because previously we had some calculations where we're putting it between like, $1, $1.50 per 100 tender. Certainly calculations that were based off the initial pricing of the Celestial Steed. Yes, double that.
Yep.
Yeah, double that, and everybody bought it. Don't know what your Twitter feed looked like. Maybe you're lucky and don't have one. Congratulations, you're free.
That's not luck, that's skill.
So yes, there is another one. There's the light blue and white one, the Sky Witch, which does have a trading post source be listed, but it's not available for purchase. We have no idea where it comes from.
Yeah, which is interesting. Although the new silver hand uniforms, I really like that. It's the perfect color for them. I think the thing to note is that this is a limited time purchase. It is only available for February. Then it's going into the trading post.
Yeah.
No, was it no earlier than 3 months after? No sooner than 3 months after. Which means that we're probably going to see this either next year or at some point just halfway through the year for the crack. Just, it's on the post now, go for it. And then we'll be able to make actually what we want to see. Or, we'll be able to get a more direct idea of have they changed what they think the tender value of these things are. But I definitely think a lot of this is they are allowed. They will get away with charging a premium for these, I think.
It's just like, no, Holly, you're not allowed. You can't do this. The council is convened. Sorry, you've been blocked. The Supreme Court has stopped you.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's they'll get away with charging it because it's like it's instantaneous and it's like roughly on par with like other purchases costs as well. But it also works because it is something new and fresh to World of Warcraft immediately. And it's almost like if you wanted to be extremely awful about how you describe it, you could say that the trading post is actually a Trojan horse for selling us this stuff because we have a comparison. And it's because, well, people were upset with them selling things that you can't get in-game. You're like, okay, we can't get this for free, so buy it, just, swipe, that's it. But now you've got free versions on the trading post, which now means the level of acceptance, the level of purchasing rate, I imagine, for other things has gone way up. Yeah. Because it's like meaningful versions. Because this is like the perfect version of them getting, we've sorted this out. We've got the actual marketing angle down. In the same way that Riot Games have always been insane with their skins and their theming of the skins. Yeah. Because obviously this immediately, like, you go back and you think, well, here's I guess the closest example is the Star Guardian stuff. And I tell you, I bought Star Guardian skins. I really did.
I think there's a correlation here.
There is a correlation, yeah. There is a correlation. I like Magical Girl stuff. It's great. But, like, and a lot of people, like, love that aesthetic too, especially now. Especially in the past couple of years. As things from the the Sailor Moon era of anime people started getting to a little bit more. And now that 42% of Gen Zers watch anime weekly, according to some statistic, it's just
what?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know I don't know what that, like, how many were surveyed, but it was a thing. People looked at it and went, yeah, it seems about right. Anime won the culture war. It's over. It's over.
We'll have a chat about this later.
Yeah, we will. So I think that's
It'll probably be Grumpy Man yells at Cloud.
Yeah. So we're at this interesting place of just, they're selling this thing. They've managed to sell something that people want really badly for almost the first time. I don't remember a single thing that's actually on the trading post that was like almost like a cultural thing. That was like give me that right now. At least in a way that everyone's kind of on about. Yeah, I did manga beat comics. Yeah, manga is outselling comics in the US to a hilarious degree.
Wow.
Like completely obliterating it. Huh. And you don't know until you actually look and you're like, oh yeah, everything's just been translated to and shipped immediately. Things have been simultaneously, everything, etc. But I think that's part of like this here as well, where they're actually full on going, here's what people actually are into now. Here's what people want to see. And then they paid for it en masse even though they could get a free version. And now some of it is you have to earn the free version through doing your 1,000 tendies, which obviously takes you a couple hours if you know what you're doing. Yeah. So that's like a kind of a slightly moot point, I think. But it just, people want the both of them because they're so opposed. Just so, they pair perfectly. Like the amount of, we actually literally dagger through together a segment of literally just like people from Twitter screenshots in the transmog for later. And it is actually like the amount of people who are like, here's protagonist and villain side by side. It looks great. But yeah. So I don't know. It's the thinking about the actual, like the price fit and stuff is all like, yeah, this is where we are. Horse armor happened. Now we're here. And to talk about my tweet, which was, hi, I'm mad and I'm part of the problem. Yeah, they were more than happy to go, do you want this thing? And I went, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
You got.
And that's the hateful part where you're, on principle, you're against it, right? On principle, you're like, that's so much. That's 2 indie games. That's awful. I could buy so much for this. And they go, yeah, but it's different and you want it. So it's like
that's the thing about value. People will talk about like the price or whatever of an indie game, and then you contrast that to spending $10 for a coffee in America. Is that how much Hotel Starbucks was? I remember Hotel Starbucks being like frankly scandalous. I'm just sitting there thinking like, this is what? And value is a very, very, very interesting thing, because ultimately, in something like this, you are, you're a captive audience, and this is a thing that you want within the context of the thing that you're already deeply purchased into, which I suppose is very different to the first purchase friction and overcoming the unknown that comes with buying a new game. So it's very easy to bring up the just buy an indie game, but the thing is, well, somebody could want this and just buy it right now. Now, I think the thing that I always, or what I think about is like, you sort of, if you buy one of these and everyone else has kind of bought one as well, and everybody's just kind of traipsing around with the same thing, and it kind of devalues it a bit.
There's a little bit.
I definitely wonder about.
There's a billion things to talk about with regards to how homogenized things happen with store transmogs that look this bespoke. Because obviously this is, I know someone talked earlier about like having all of the ability to make loads of different transmogs based on all of that, but there's definitely like, it's so bespoke. You'll see a billion people wear this for February. Some people will likely like drop off after, some people like incorporate things, but even incorporating individual parts is hard because World of Warcraft, and now this isn't any different in like FF14 a lot of the time with its pretty bespoke sets, especially store sets, but it's very difficult to pick a certain part of this and mix and match. You always are going to have either the hat or like the chest is like the key piece of it. So it's a little tiny bit like that. We're like, yeah, it's a bit homogenized, but also I think, do you want to just talk about aesthetics in video games and how cash shops are ruining them?
Oh, do you mean like the invasion of brands into everything?
Not just brands, but the ruining of aesthetic entirely from things like this.
Hello, Diablo 4. D4 is actually, D4 is such an interesting example, and I guess this is just another topic in itself almost. These certainly do deviate from what standard WoW looks like. They certainly deviate from what WoW looked like 10 years ago, that's for sure. But it's worse in other games. Far, 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 far worse than other games. Even say looking at D4 with the new season, there was all these posts of people essentially saying, hey, thanks, you've been so generous in making your premium battle pass shit that I don't want to buy it. Now, what actually happened is the premium battle pass has got 2 different colors of the same armor. And the armor itself, I think, actually looks really cool, but it looks non-specific cool. It's generically cool because it's essentially armor type based, like what we had in BFA and Shadowlands. So people can get 2 colors of that and, some other things. But you see, if you want something that like makes your druid look awesome and an awesome druid, that's in the store. It's on the store for, a decent amount of money. So you always have that thing of like the... Okay, do you remember it was like a bit of a meme that was going around of like Western Batman and then Japanese Batman. And you're like, cool. Japanese Batman he's angles there.
Is this Tetsuya Nomura Batman?
Yes.
Because calling that Japanese Batman's a little bit disingenuous. It's Tetsuya Nomura Batman. That's different. Like, that man loves his belts and his pointy bits. But yeah, I get you.
Yeah. That was the like, the sort of joke at the time. Where it's like, cool, you've just put so many bells and whistles on him that he looks a bit silly now. That happens in a lot of games where you definitely like, you see, this is pleb armor.
Yeah.
This is in-game pleb armor versus premium nice armor. Certainly, like, you look at Destiny 2. That's the thing. People talk about the monetization of World of Warcraft. Oh boy! I mean, hey, I know it ain't perfect, but goddamn, look at D2. That game is crazy. It is like so nickel and dimed. But yeah, that and it's got the same thing where you can totally tell who was swiped, on the armor sets. So it's like, yes, there's the invasion of brands, and then there's that sort of delineation that, is kind of messing up the aesthetics of games.
Yeah,
certainly multiplayer ones.
The example, there's a couple examples I want to talk about specifically, and one is, and I don't play it, but I'm talking to Connell about it, Call of Duty.
Oh.
Would you like to play the new Call of Duty where all things people already have transfer
Ruined.
over? Well, that means you open up the game and you're in Nightmare Hell Brandland where everything is paid for. No one looks like a tactical operator anymore, except for the people who are poor or are new to the actual series. Everyone else is going around as some form of absolute carnage.
Yeah, like I was watching somebody, play Modern Warfare 3, and whatever character they were, you could see through the character's arm because it was all like weird bones and stuff. And I look at that and I'm thinking, this is not what I would ever go to this thing for.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. But ultimately, it sold enough copies, enough people buy that shit, but it's completely aesthetically ruined it.
Yeah, because everything that's a big enough platform, Nicki Minaj skin, or the Lilith, stuff like that. But nickel and dimes in 2024, it's tenner and 20. You're right, floppy knickers. It really is. There was a tweet going around the other day that was like, when you're an adult, there's just a case, or when you're an adult, your life is just at random times, things just cost 30 quid. Just out of nowhere, it's like, there's 30 quid. What is it? It's 30 quid just disappears out of your wallet every other day for just like, not even for anything. It's just like the being alive tax. It's just someone comes and goes, 30 quid, please, thank you very much. So it is 10 around 20 quite literally. But the things like the Nicki Minaj skin, stuff like that, everything became this kind of crazy, everything is just a way to get people to buy branded IP shit on a store.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, what's that? What are you doing in Fortnite? You're buying fucking Dragon Ball Z shit. You're buying John Wick, whatever the hell. You go to Call of Duty and you're buying Nicki Minaj skin or Diablo skin or like, what? We're kind of a little bit lucky in World of Warcraft that we're not actually that bad yet. And this is, well, obviously there's the other examples with like the Yeti PJs and stuff like that from BlizzCon, where the game's aesthetic was definitely like, well, you're no longer in your armor. You're playing the game and doing raid bosses in pajamas. But like, we're not really that far gone yet, but I think we are kind of slightly, we're going to move that way with success of this. They're going to look outwards from World of Warcraft for inspiration to where it's going to actually sell things or what people are going to buy. And it was the same with League of Legends as well, where obviously, you got really goofy stuff and kind of referential things, but that always worked okay because these games are wrappers for shops and stuff. But when it gets into something that's more immersive, you kind of run into problems. And this is where session-based gameplay gets away with it an awful lot of the time. Because you look at like Call of Duty, okay, sure. It's a bit different from you playing a single-player Call of Duty and you're in the world and you're shooting people. It's not shooting people, don't show up randomly. People are willing to like suspend their disbelief of the world building and the aesthetic. But I think it has like this serious actual problem subconsciously. And I think we're not going to feel it for a long time, but it'll just be like, we'll look back one day and go, oh, the art of it's lost. The art of having like this coherent like multiplayer experience that feels aesthetically correct is lost. Same with, was it Battlefield? Battlefield had that problem. Was it Santa or some shit?
Yes, Battlefield Santa.
Yeah, there's Battlefield Santa. I was like, what do you mean Santa doesn't belong in Battlefield? Or like, well, he does now. He does now. Why? Because you'll pay for it, probably. Or something to that effect.
Or because someone will, and by doing that, they are now worth, in aggregate over all of their spending, maybe, like, they may have a LTV, lifetime value, it's 4 times yours. Which means, like, what's the company's main metric? Money!
Yeah.
So they're going to do the thing that makes them... I don't want to say it, Matt, but line go up. And one of the casualties of line go up is aesthetic cohesion in multiplayer games. And I don't know what to say other than go play Hell Let Loose?
Hell Let Loose.
Or, go play a Milsim. I have a feeling Santa and Nicki Minaj won't make their way into Milsims.
Yeah, it's becoming more like you're making a sacrifice as a game developer to have aesthetic cohesion in your game. And that's going to cause a little bit of a schism between people who actually want that and enjoy that more versus people who don't. And I think there's definitely a case of, it'd be very nice if World of Warcraft had a button that went, and now this is like completely not ever going to happen for a billion reasons, but just a button that's like immersion mode. And you click that and you don't see anything that's tagged on like the transmog as not immersive, be that the Eddie PJs from BlizzCon or this. Or even just someone walking around with like their clothes off. You'd basically have a hide all other transmogs button, which would be insane. But
in
like,
a game
and that's
like
why
WoW, I think insane. But in Call of Duty, you could see, you could see that working. But I mean, yeah, they're not incentivized to do that, are they?
Yeah, that's exactly the case. Of it seems like an easy fix, but it's also never going to happen for obvious reasons. Now, there's a version of this that's not actually about Gears of War has a no cosmetic mode. That's interesting. Didn't know that.
What?
And that's why no one knows what Gears of War is anymore unless you're 30 years of age or older. But there's another example I wanted to talk about. I know what it is.
Uh-oh.
It's recently released video game that I'm having a lot of fun of called Tekken 8. And I suppose Street Fighter 6 fell into this as well, where the actual customization capacity in Tekken 8 is, oh my God, it is beautiful. It is really good. People are making the craziest like character cosplays.
Is it so good that people won't buy skins?
Well, it doesn't sell skins. Tekken just sells you the game because...
What?
Yeah.
Does it not sell you skins later?
There's no... It sells you DLC. But you don't. Maybe they'll sell you customization bits. But there's nothing about
Street Fighter 6 or.
Street Fighter 6 sells you a load of
6?
fucking nonsense. Like
Okay.
It sells you stuff that no one wants, like this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle skins that everyone bought. I'm sorry. That's not wrong. I'm sorry, that's wrong. That no one bought because you could make customizations that look more accurate.
That's great.
The opposite of the Fortnite problem. You know the Fortnite problem where they. Somehow the best models for any IP in the business come from Fortnite now.
Yep.
And then you look at, they have the opposite problem with Street Fighter where they make awful things. So obviously, yeah, like a shop coming in later for Tekken makes sense, but like the raw customization potential is kind of crazy at the minute. And you're like, well, that's literally like a bit of an immersion breaker if you end up like, why am I against, what was the example? It was, can't even fucking remember her name. Is it Yumiko from the anime, the gambling one?
I don't know why you're asking me.
The gambling one that I can't remember the name of at all for some reason. The one where they gambled each other.
I like Lord of the Rings and strategy games. Why the hell do you think I'll know any of this?
Chupami, is her name? Yumiko Chupami? Yeah. But someone had like, I think it was Lily cosplaying as her, and I was like, oh, that's actually like, that's kind of crazy, but it's also tremendously immersion breaking. But it's just how it's done now in these session-based games. It's not going to be the case of... It's not going to be the like case for single player for a long time. I hope maybe, but there's definitely something here of we're in a kind of dark time for multiplayer games having an aesthetic cohesion, and this is an example of where you can see why. Because everyone's like, good armor set, that's fine. Oh, good, the Last Guardian, it's medieval. Well, whatever. But as soon as they go, what about thing outside WoW? What about aesthetic outside WoW? That your brain goes,
Yeah, like there's
this.
times you look at like, say, some of the Guild Wars 2 stuff, and you're like, this is insane sparkle hell. My eyes hurt. All of these characters look ridiculous. And it is very different to, I suppose, older, more lo-fi WoW. But I mean, that ship sailed a long time ago, but still is there in Classic. So, maybe as we think about how they evolve Season of Discovery more and more, like maybe after the sort of core Season of Discovery is done, then I certainly wonder, will that kind of outlet still exist for WoW? So there you go. That's visual cohesion in multiplayer games. Kind of an annoying thing.